Welcome back. It's a Wednesday here at GPFans, and there is, of course, plenty of news to get into from the world of Formula One. We've had breaking news over the Japanese Grand Prix. We're talking Nico Rosberg and his decision to walk away from Formula One. And, of course, that second seat at Mercedes for 2022 continues to generate comments and feedback as Toto Wolff has continued to talk rather openly about the futures of Valtteri Bottas and George Russell. I'm Ollie Wilson for GPFans, and this is everything you need to know from the world of Formula One this Wednesday. Before we go any further, as always, hit that subscribe button down below to stay up to date with everything that we do here at the YouTube channel on GPFans. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram as well, at GPFans Global. That's at GPFans Global, to stay across everything that we do on all of our platforms. Now that's done and dusted, let's get into the news. And we start with the sad breaking news this Wednesday, as it's been confirmed that the Japanese Grand Prix will be cancelled for the second year in a row. The return to the historic Suzuka track was set to take place on October 8th to the 10th, but the decision has been made by the Japanese government to cancel the race due to the ongoing COVID-19 crisis. Formula One had hoped that the success of the recent Olympic Games in Tokyo would provide a basis for the race to take place as planned, but once more the 23-race calendar has been thrown into doubt for this season. A statement from Formula One read, "Following ongoing discussions with the promoter and authorities in Japan, the decision has been taken by the Japanese government to cancel the race this season due to ongoing complexities of the pandemic in the country. Formula One is now working on the details of the revised calendar and will announce the final details in the coming weeks. Formula One has proven this year and in 2020 that we can adapt and find solutions to the ongoing uncertainties, and is excited by the level of interest in locations to host Formula One events this year and beyond." The cancellation to the Japanese Grand Prix has also raised concerns again about the upcoming Turkish Grand Prix this season, with the country still on the UK's red list status for travel, meaning a 10-day quarantine would be required after returning to the UK for the teams and drivers. The race at Suzuka was set to be run the following weekend after the Turkish Grand Prix in an attempt to bypass that quarantine. Tricky stuff indeed for the F1 schedulers once again. Elsewhere, and the second seat at Mercedes continues to generate a wave of Formula One news, with team principal Toto Wolff saying that both George Russell and Valtteri Bottas will have attractive options for the 2022 season should they fail to land the drive alongside Lewis Hamilton for next year. Bottas has been with the constructor since 2017, while Russell is one of the hottest young commodities in Formula One today and has worked his way through the Mercedes junior ranks to now be in perceived prime position to make the step from Williams to the reigning Constructors' Championship winners. Seats elsewhere on the grid are scarce at the moment for next season, with most driver pairings seemingly locked down for the foreseeable future. But speaking in an interview with GPFans Global and other members of the world media, Wolff seemed to suggest that whichever driver doesn't make the grade at Mercedes for next season will have plenty of options to stay in Formula One. George and Valtteri would have probably more than one option to stay in Formula One and race in Formula One with an attractive outlook, said Wolff. Most teams see themselves as challenger teams, that they expect a big step to be done next year because of the cost cap that is now valid for everybody. They've concentrated on next year's development very early. You can see that Alfa, Williams haven't brought in a huge amount of pieces anymore for a while. I think George and Valtteri would have, whatever we decide, great options. And finally, we often think of Formula One drivers as having a few screws loose somewhere upstairs for their exploits on the track, but Nico Rosberg has added a new dimension to that theory with his off-the-track actions, as he revealed that he turned down a $100 million contract to avoid retiring as a has-been. The German driver defeated Lewis Hamilton to the Drivers' World title in 2016 before announcing shockingly that he would not be returning to the sport for the following year. Rosberg recently explained in an interview with Time magazine that he wanted to ensure he left the sport on a high. "It went to the wire, to the last corner," said Rosberg about the Drivers' World Championship. "It couldn't have been more intense, and winning against Lewis in the same car after having struggles against him for decades. It was just so perfect. I wanted to avoid going out as a has-been or someone who is not wanted anymore. I mean, there was $100 million on the table that I gave up on. I longed for a different kind of life. You don't have flexibility when you're racing. It was the right decision for my family. I don't think about the money for 1 second. Now, this year's title battle between Hamilton and Max Verstappen has split Formula 1 fans down the middle with a strong partisan following for each racer. It's a battle that really is evoking memories of that 2016 and the rivalry that Rosberg had with his Mercedes teammate that year. There were two camps, said Nico, continuing. The Nico camp and the Hamilton fans, and all the Hamilton fans were against me, of course, continued Rosberg. There were these 4-year-old girls right in front of me with their dads, and they were booing me and giving me thumbs down. Their dads told them I was bad, and they needed to boo me. Some things have really hit Nico hard, I guess, when it came to his Formula 1 career, but was that the right thing for Nico Rosberg to do? Forget the money, but he goes down as somebody that didn't defend or try to defend their Formula 1 driver's title. Does that just add a little asterisk to the career of Nico Rosberg? Let us know in the comments section below. And let us know as well where you think either George Russell or Valtteri Bottas, if they don't get the seat at Mercedes for next year, where they could be driving and who their driving partner will be at whatever team they end up at. Let us know, as I say, in the comments section below. Hit that subscribe button as always, and you can stay up to date with everything that we do here on the YouTube channel at GPFans.